looks sharp to me. His racket work looks good out there. And obviously he is up because this gentleman beat him less than 2.5 weeks ago. Mark Woodforde, a tough player.
And Woodforde not only with the victories over Edberg and McEnroe, but at Wimbledon this year, he was up 2-1 to Ivan Lendl before losing 10-8 in the fifth.
Ted, I was right there, and this gentleman had match point on Ivan Lendl in the round of 16 at Wimbledon. He is always out there. He's a tough competitor, and the more that you follow the tennis results, all of a sudden Woodford's name keeps appearing, and so he's had a fine year. He's dangerous, and we are ready to go.
John McEnroe, I think most who watched would agree, will have to lift the level of his game from the first round against Leo Lavalle of Mexico. And there is Richard Ings of Australia. He is our chair umpire, and he was in the chair here last year when McEnroe had his major explosion in the match against Bobo Zivojinovic.
Just missing. You know, you wonder whether a chair assignment like that is a psychological thing from the umpire's situation. There seems to me saying, listen, we're not going to be intimidated at all by what happened last year. We're putting the same guy up there in that chair, and let's play tennis. Ladies and gentlemen, full complement of lines people. You see those three at the far end at the top of your picture. Very alert. It's good. Oh. And a fine point there as Woodforde fools McEnroe with the lob. Decade.
That's out. And it's 15-30.
First game of any match, I don't care what the situation is, if you're serving it, very difficult. Not really totally warmed up. I can run under pressure now immediately here in the very first game.
We're apparently in the landing path for LaGuardia Airport again tonight. So for Mark Woodforde in his first appearance on Stadium Court. Rude introduction. John Barrett is also here with us. John, what do you think might bother McEnroe most about Woodforde tonight?
I think the very fact that so much is expected of him here in New York, where he's done so well in the past. It was very apparent at Wimbledon in his match against Masseur. Pressure really got to him there. He wasn't himself at all.
Incidentally, Ted, I think it's the takeoff pattern that we're in, because this place is shaky when those guys take over here. I hope they're going a little slow.
Point of Woodforde serve.
He won it with a good cross-court forehand. Solid shot on the full run. McEnroe looked sharp early to me here. He's up for this match.
One thing's occurred to me, Barry, you know, however good a player you are, when you've just lost to somebody, it niggles away at the back of the mind, doesn't it?
Sure does. You want to get out and prove that he was wrong the first time.
Second game of the match. McEnroe winning the first, and for a very late arriving crowd. stadium court.
John, we said earlier there's very few people in the world that have ever had a perfect record against John McEnroe. This gentleman's one of them, even though it's brief. Fairly recent. Woodforde in great position there. He gets in very quickly behind that left-handed serve. Now watch how quickly Woodforde gets in behind the swinging serve. Takes 2-3 steps. Watch where the volley is hit from. Well inside the service line.
So we're at 1-1 now in the first set.
I'm quite sure that John McEnroe is suffering from lack of match play. Ever since he stopped playing doubles with Peter Fleming, to me, that was the beginning of his decline. And it's a very, very difficult thing to come all the way back.
Well, he used to say that he used the doubles as not only match play, but practice.
Pretty good practice, wasn't it?
I'll say.
One of the best teams in the world.
15. I look at the McEnroe serve. Feet parallel. Both arms come down together, and then both arms go up. The ball at the highest point as he lunges towards it, snaps that wrist at the top. That gives him the extra power.
13. The opinion of most players that have played McEnroe in the last year or so, though, is that he has lost noticeable pop on that serve.
On the serve. I think the pace is definitely down, Ted, but he still has the deception. He can mix it up. And as you look at him there, you're looking at his back.
14.
Mix that one up. John, you were a lefty, and that used to frustrate me as a right-hander. As I leaned to my left and that ball went out to the right, it's 10, 15 feet out of your reach. McEnroe taking a chance there on a second serve. But if you need to choose a point to take a chance, 40 loves the time to do it.
Remains to be seen, really, whether John McEnroe is really fully back in the groove after taking a long break from the game last year. Seems to me that the extraordinary thing was that he should win his comeback tournament. That really, in Tokyo, quite extraordinary in the spring.
And beating Edberg in the final. And 2 in a row.
They say about great boxers that they never come back once they've tried and tried to, but we don't really have enough evidence of tennis players to know whether the same holds true. I suspect that it does.
Serving was the thing that plagued McEnroe in his first round match. Very inconsistent with his serve.
In a row she's been here. Those aren't cheap seats she's sitting in down there either.
First, Tracy Austin returns here. She is playing women's doubles and mixed doubles. Her first appearance here since 1982.
It's great to see her back, and I know she's excited about playing again. Talk about a comeback, John. There will be a tough comeback. Do you think she can come back ever and win a major championship?
Oh, absolutely not. But I don't think she feels herself that she will, which is lovely. I mean, she's come back to enjoy her tennis, and why not?
Good deep approach shot there. I feel tonight that has to be McEnroe's play. When he's played well through the years, especially against Lendl, he has taken the second serve, moved in behind it, and put a lot of pressure on the server.
And a court surface like this one will help him in that regard. Perfectly true bounce.
Well, he tried it, but overhit it. Let's watch the Woodforde motion now. Quite a bit different. You can see the feet are more towards the center of the court. Nice toss, though. And look at the weight. It's up and in. Both feet off the ground. He finishes well inside the baseline. It's a good serve to come in behind, and we saw him getting quickly behind it on that volley early in the match.
15-30.
Double fault. I venture Mark Woodforde's never experienced anything like this before.
Memorial Drive in Adelaide is not quite like Flushing Meadow, I can tell you.
15.
And he won the tournament there. I saw him do it beginning of the year.
That is
just 2 weeks before the Australian Open.
Here is Barry Phillips Moore, Woodforde's coach, who, John, in our day was an excellent tournament player.
And a very canny man who has had a lot to do with the design of tennis rackets.
And that, the most controversial part of Woodforde's game right now.
Woodforde just hit the best shot of the match for him thus far. McEnroe had hit a fine return. He got down low on that volley. That was a big point, break point. McEnroe looking, he's going to have a chat now with Richard Ings.
Because the last two, they're both out. They're both close, but they're both out.
Well, now this is where you have to feel sympathy for his opponent.
Still a break point for McEnroe.
Tatum O'Neal seated down there in the guest seats. Oh, a late call.
It's upheld by Richard Ings. Second serve on a break point.
Okay, McEnroe.
And a double fault by Woodforde gives McEnroe the first break of the match.
McEnroe leads 3 games to 1.
Well, now, was that due to the interruption by John McEnroe?
Well, I'll tell you something, John. I felt that on the first serve of that particular point, the call was late. And I think that bothered Woodforde more than the delay. Oh.
The part of McEnroe's game that he says he has to get back.
Watch out quickly now. McEnroe gets in on this volley, but he does not hit a good shot here. On this shot, he doesn't put it away. Now watch how quickly his hands move on this shot as it goes to him.
Beautiful mover, John McEnroe, always was. Normally he would have killed that first volley, but he was sharp in his reflexes for the second one.
And after the first round match, that's what McEnroe said. He said, when my volleying really comes back, the ups and downs I've experienced will go away.
training when he first came back after his first layoff.
I've kind of lost track of the layoffs and the trainings and the regimens and the coaches. I can't follow them all.
Well, there were just 2 in John's case. And he went down to California to practice. Ted Tinling there on the right.
Teddy Tinling, one of the great gentlemen of the game over a long period of time, and McEnroe backs off now. These jets are about 30 seconds apart here.
71 career titles, of course. The man who heads the list, Jimmy Collins, 106 now.
I notice John's earring is gone. Maybe Tinling stole it.
He wears one.
I know.
The diamond in the ear.
Third double fault for McEnroe already. It is 30 all. McEnroe up a break, first set.
The toss on that last serve on the double fault, about 6 inches lower than he normally throws it.
What did they change? They're allowed to change on their own?
Well, I don't think he realizes, McEnroe, that the linesmen change teams.
Who asked them to change like that? Give me an idea that maybe that ball was in?
I don't think John McEnroe realizes that they do move around to keep themselves alert, and it's a very good idea.
Well, John continuing to keep the pressure on Richard Ings as we look at one of the lines people. They are revolving. They do not stay in the same position throughout the match. McEnroe wanted to know who made the change. I think it's just a standard operation, quite frankly.
But you see, all this is going to play on the mind of Woodforde, and one has to ask the question, and I'm not suggesting that it is so, but one has to ask the question whether it's done deliberately.
Now this we saw in McEnroe's matches on Stadium Court last year, particularly the Lendl match. He waits between games, the commotion in the crowd, the people filing in, not able yet to get in their seats.
Woodforde has been particularly cool throughout all of these delays thus far.
15.
Well, he learned an awful lot from his first Davis Cup live tie against the French in France, where I was earlier this year. He had 5 sets against Leconte, and I'll finish the story in a moment. Just quickly, Woodforde in fact had won the first set, was up in the second when Leconte delayed the match, had a long discussion about a query of a let serve, and it totally threw Woodforde. I'm sure he's learned the lesson.
There is the racket that is most unusual. A lot of air between those strings. We'll chat about it in a moment.
The racket, in fact, is designed by his coach, Barry Phillips-Moore. It has much wider gaps between the strings, and the strings themselves are very much thicker. Not natural gut, of course, synthetic gut. There's Barry.
Oh.
Here's the McEnroe return. He moves forward as the ball approaches, gets sideways very quickly, and you see the racket finally follow through high, but it's a very flat stroke. Not a lot of topspin on that return.
Second serve coming on a break point for McEnroe.
Well, you know, that's what happens when you haven't played enough matches. You don't play the big points well. Which used to be the hallmark of his game, of course. He would pounce like a tiger.
That's a great shot from Mark Woodforde.
Advantage Woodforde.
Now you see how well Woodforde can play from the backcourt. Keeps the ball in play here. Now McEnroe's up. He waits just for the moment. Watch McEnroe move to his right. Woodforde saw it, hits the ball behind him.
And Woodforde saving a break point, holds serve. And it is 3-all in the first set.
Again, the father of John McEnroe Sr., not showing too much emotion. He's done this before.
And he's always here to watch Patrick play as well.
Just long. John, I think a left-hander playing against a left-hander is very difficult. What do you think?
I think all left-handers hate playing fellow left-handers simply because there are fewer of them in the game and they play them less often. It's the serve that is usually the problem. Here's the first service percentage. McEnroe just a little ahead. Both too low.
Low 30.
One of the better players on Long Island, Alan King, trying to pick up a few pointers. I've done everything I can with Alan's game. I can't do any more to try and help him.
Woodforde really crept up on that second serve
Low
and
40.
now has 3 break points.
It was that department of the game that served him so well against Lendl at Wimbledon. My goodness, his return of serve that day was quite superb. And he did nothing wrong on his match point against Lendl. It was Lendl's incredible volley to the baseline that saved him.
McEnroe was up a break. Now Woodforde has 2 more chances to go up a break himself in this first set.
Oh, he hit a good return off a fault. I bet he's saying to himself, I wish that were a good serve. Clean winner.
And at the end of the changeover, John John McEnroe again. Fighting his second opponent, Richard Ings, the umpire. But something has happened in this first set, and Tim Mayotte said it earlier this year, and Woodforde echoed it. He said the nervousness about playing McEnroe wears off now when the ball doesn't come back at you at the same pace, or he's not moving like a dominant player.
Best shot of the night for John McEnroe on the full run.
Love 30.
McEnroe really goes after this ball. Barely got his racket on the return, but watch this now. On the full run, he sees the opening up the line, goes for it, hit it right on the nose. At this point, it's going to take a couple shots like that, I feel, to get him back in this match. His confidence is not there on the big points.
I shall be surprised if he does get back into the match.
No. Woodforde missing what looked to be a fairly easy overhead there. We mentioned before, the lights are not easy out here. He may have lost it.
3 break points.
That's what you're looking at when you look up there for one of those overheads. Until that last volley, perhaps the best rally of the match, no question about it. Looked to me like Woodforde just looked up at the last moment, trying to keep McEnroe in sight.
So we have had a series of service breaks, and we are back on serve again at 4-all first set.
That's the first volley of the night where McEnroe has really put some oomph into the shot. Watch how quickly he gets in behind the serve. Deep serve. Now right here, kind of crunches it. You can see the racket follow through a bit more. A lot more pace on that volley.
Talking to a fan there. Poor net percentage for Woodforde.
McEnroe starting to move much better now up at net. Hits the first volley in front of the service line. Now watch him close in here. Very close to the net. Good touch as the racket comes back slightly.
Certainly prepared well for his comeback with a lot of physical training down in Los Angeles with one of the track coaches of the university down there.
So another thing Woodforde's doing on the second serve of McEnroe, he is inside the baseline, well inside the baseline, maybe about a foot, keeping the pressure on McEnroe. We'll see him, if McEnroe misses the first serve, move in.
There's an excellent return of serve.
30.
I don't think he's ever accepted some of the points he's lost to players since his comeback. That he can no longer make the shots as easily as he once did.
It's a very good point you make, Ted, the fact that the invincibility factor is no longer there. It was the same with Rod Laver when he started to play with that aluminium frame instead of his trusty wooden one with which he won all those titles. That was his last Grand Slam tournament, McEnroe's.
That ball would have been big trouble had it gotten over McEnroe's head. He wisely bounced it.
You know, that graphic there is astonishing to think that this is now 4 years since John McEnroe won a Grand Slam championship.
In between has come parenthood, marriage, retirement,
Suspension.
Suspension. Well, I think he said he was trying to sort himself out.
That racket with those strings so wide apart, many players on tour complaining about, saying it causes the ball to do unnatural things.
Tell you, when Woodforde misses, he's not missing by much. That ball looked like it was going to be tough. Just caught the top of the net.
The racket certainly does.
USA premier event Wednesday, September 14th at 9 Eastern on USA. Woodforde serving at 4-5 first set.
Oh, 15.
Do the planes flying over during points bother players that lose the sound of the ball hitting the racket?
Most definitely, Ted. You really need to hear this ball hit the racket, get a feel for how fast it's coming, and sound in tennis is very important. Richard Ings.
Too close for him to overrule. The umpires are instructed only to overrule when there's been a clear error. Woodforde was convinced it was not. There's the lady who made the call.
On the baseline, let's have a look. Woodforde plays the ball on a half volley there.
30-15.
A little bit of a tingle going through the arm, apparently.
On the grandstand, Mary Jo Fernandez, 13th seed women's singles, winning the first set from Nathalie Tozia of France.
Those are the reflex volleys, you know, that he used to pull off as standard.
I'm impressed, though, with Woodford's concentration as McEnroe presses him coming in. He really stays with those passing shots.
We're 5-all now in the first set.
5 games.
John, you made a statement earlier, and I wanted to ask you about it. You said you'd be surprised if McEnroe got back into the match. You feel that way so early?
Yes, I do. I think he's not back into it yet. He's still riding a knife edge. A knife edge of confidence, I mean.
Good.
That's what the racket does.
Love 15.
The racket definitely helps, but watch the way he takes this racket back and then really flows over the ball. Look at the follow-through, way over his head. That also helps to put topspin on the stroke.
Love 30.
And suddenly the door is very much open here for Woodforde. At love 30. Look at the number in just one set of unforced errors by McEnroe. First set hangs precariously if Woodforde can break.
Watch how he keeps that ball down on these passing shots. Now he lines this one up. Again, the ball is dipping as McEnroe tries to make the volley.
John McEnroe's half volley there would have beaten most birds for its depth. But Woodforde was quick enough, and it was the sheer pace which beats McEnroe in the end. Here it is. Too quick for him. He had to rush the volley. Love 40.
Of course, if Woodforde can break, he then serves for the set.
Now watch Woodforde inside that baseline. Look at the stance. That's got to be bothering McEnroe on this second serve.
McEnroe came very close to being an unseeded player in this tournament. Only the withdrawal of Pat Cash and Kent Carlson unable to.
15 love.
McEnroe makes a good get on this shot. Barely gets his racket on. Watch the way Woodforde takes that racket back. It's a strange take back because it looks like he's almost going to hit the ball with the frame of the racket, but somehow he opens up the face of the racket just in time.
Woodforde now is making it look easy, and he has 3 set points. Just overpowered him with the first serve, and Mark Woodforde of Australia has won the first set in 50 minutes, 7 games to 5. The sense a little different feeling in this stadium tonight from when we were here last year. Tatum McEnroe was here also to watch John play Yvonne Lendl. And the sense here last year, I felt, was that people here really believed McEnroe could win. I don't quite sense that tonight. There's not the same aura here.
Oh. Woodforde really on a roll now. He has played some great tennis over the last 4 or 5 games.
Love 15.
Well disguised lob here by Woodforde. He hits a good return, catches McEnroe. Now watch how he waits till the last minute. McEnroe moving forward, leaving a lot of room there. It was a safe lob, actually in by about 6 or 7 feet.
Love 30.
The anxiety remains. He rushed it.
The reason I brought that point up is I wonder how much of McEnroe's aura was really exposed, or how much of McEnroe was exposed with the ease with which Lendl beat him here last year.
Match last year, Ted, certainly one of the most anticlimactic matches. This entire crowd was just waiting for that Lendl McEnroe confrontation, and nothing ever happened.
Love 40.
And it's coming apart quickly for McEnroe. Down a set, and now 3 break points facing him here.
It's almost a smile of disbelief. McEnroe lost so many points in a row here.
CRX SI, the 1988 Motor Trend Car of the Year at your local Honda dealer. By Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive. And by Ford in your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Mark Woodforde serving up a break, second set.
Love 15.
That is the first mistake we have seen Woodforde make. And I would say at least 12, 14 points. He has played miraculous tennis here.
Thanks to our statistician, Leo Levin, we know that he's won 9, or had until that point, won 9 straight points and 16 of the last 18.
First set statistics, first serve percentages are even. The points at net, neither is great. McEnroe's just barely 1/3. And 19 unforced errors. That points at net is shocking for McEnroe.
For the old McEnroe that we once knew, but he's far from that.
And you know, I'm seeing a different Mark Woodforde out here tonight than the kid that we saw upset Tim Mayotte on court 16 last year. He's more poised. It looks to me like he's saying, I should be out here. I'm one of the best players on the tour, and I've had some wins, and I belong out here.
And he was a player who last year in that match with Mayotte won 3 tie breaks. The kid beat the seeded player.
He started the year fast down there in Adelaide, beating Wally Masur, another good Australian. McEnroe still with some shots in the repertoire here on the full run to his left. Just drills that backhand. Good control on that shot. Came over it well. And finally, on a big point, McEnroe converts. That is where he has been weak so far tonight. He's had opportunities on break points. That time he crunches a good return.
So McEnroe breaks back for the second time in the match. Gets it on serve.
That was a poor choice of shot, trying to make the drop shot from so far back.
Sliced that ball. It looked like an easy shot, but I tell you what, you can really mess up on those kind of shots if you don't hit them just right.
Good call. Very good.
Well, I'm afraid the facetiousness really shouldn't be there.
His fifth double fault. McEnroe with just one ace, and the service as inconsistent as it was in his first round match.
Woodforde continues to press in on that second serve. He is at least a foot inside that baseline. There you see the stance.
Shot out on the baseline.
I don't know about you, John. When I looked over and saw a return of serve guy start to move in that far on the second serve, I thought about it. I didn't really like it that much.
He's trying to deny the server time to get the ball back just that split second quicker that makes the volley or half volley more difficult.
Here he goes. Going again.
Both McEnroe and Agassi played down there, and Tommy's done a terrific job. A good player in his own right. Seattle, Washington. And you know, when you think of it, blending McEnroe and Agassi on one team with the total contrast in age, personality, and a lot of differences there, I think Gorman was a maestro. A real challenge.
There's the United States. Davis Cup got us back into the world group with a win in Argentina, the World Group for 1989.
McEnroe now appealing on the sideline.
Again, spare a thought for Woodforde.
I sense you don't approve of this, John.
I don't. Good example there of John McEnroe denying his opponent time by moving in early. Take the return on the rise.
Well, that time it worked in McEnroe's favor.
I wonder if he'll query that one.
Same lines person, almost the same spot.
Second serve. McEnroe in desperate need of a service break to give him some hope.
When you've had a long break and insufficient match play coming back, it's those unforced errors, unaccountable shots like that, which you never would have missed years ago, that begin to upset you. Then instead of operating on the inspirational level, you start to think about it. It comes to the conscious level and you're dead.
That is a fine shot from Mark Woodforde.
And Woodforde holds his serve.
McEnroe hits here what appears to be a good approach shot, but look at the touch from Woodforde. It's the angle well inside the sideline, but he took a lot of pace off that ball and came under it with the backhand cross court. That's the shot, John, that you mentioned earlier, that he just seems a split second slow on. The hands aren't quite as quick. He used to knock those forehand volleys off for clean winners almost automatically.
There was that golden spell in the Masters in this very town against Lendl a few years ago. 10 games in a row he played, like God himself. And that percentage still far too low for McEnroe. Only 14 points won on approaches to the net out of 38.
Love 15, 2-all. Second set. Woodforde won the first set.
John muttering something about the runway. I know it refers to the airplane situation.
Statement was that that's where the new tennis center will be built.
Well, when you're losing and playing less well than you know you should be, all the little things start to get you, don't they?
$15.
There was a perfect example of the early return of serve. hurrying your opponent. There are 2 ways, 3 or 4 ways, in fact, of winning the points, but one of them is to make your opponent rush the shot. Going to play a let because the bleep went off before the ball had landed. The bleep on Cyclops, the line monitor.
Finally, a touch of the old McEnroe as he hits a fine drop volley. Watch it here as McEnroe comes in. He gets caught here with a good return. Look at how the racket drops back after he hits the ball. That's just taking a lot of pace off the ball. And finally, I don't believe it, he says.
1 out of 40. Not enough for McEnroe.
I can't help contrasting, you know, this atmosphere, this whole scene to Wimbledon and Paris, Australia. It's so very different and so very American and wonderful.
I can't help but continue the contrast from last year when every time McEnroe's opponent would net a shot like that, this place would erupt. And now it seems as if there's a lot less belief in McEnroe. Jimmy Connors and Andre Agassi, Chris Evert, all in action. Two shows tomorrow, noon Eastern and 7:30 Eastern tomorrow, with action from the U.S. Open. Today, Boris Becker, Brad Gilbert, and Pam Shriver all were upset in second-round singles play.
Oh, that was a world-class volley, my word. Return of serve was good enough to have beaten most men.
Clean ace. First ace of the evening for Mark Woodforde.
30-15.
At the changeover, Ted.
The second set, and he was unable to break Woodforde. Despite a deuce point, Woodforde holds, and we stay on serve in the second set. Some marvelous points by Woodforde to pull that service game out.
These are new tennis balls McEnroe's serving with. They're changing at 9 and 11.
Not enough on the first volley.
Love 15.
Watch this shot now as McEnroe goes in, just kind of lays it over with an opportunity for Woodforde to hit the passing shot. He had plenty of time. There was not a lot of oomph in that volley.
Pete Sampras, retired from the sport, but an interested spectator.
Well, he played some great tennis in this National Tennis Center through the years. As good a passing shot as we've seen all night. McEnroe just content to slice the ball, keep it in play. Again, a slice. He looks like he's coming in. The ball hits the top of the net. A big break for Woodforde, but John drills right up the line, controlled that ball very well, kept his racket on the ball. As Tatum O'Neal McEnroe looks on. She had to like that shot.
And the importance of this for McEnroe is that he cannot afford to lose this set and fall 2 sets down. We're at 4-all and now 40-15 in the second set.
That long rally we just saw the replay of just now. McEnroe was extremely lucky that Woodforde chose not to follow in that lob. He should have done.
Ooh. 40-30.
7th double fault for McEnroe.
Well, a couple things are happening on that second serve. Number one, Woodforde is definitely putting the pressure on McEnroe by standing at least a foot inside the baseline. And John has elected to take a little bit of a chance because he does not want Woodforde to come in behind the second serve.
Like his fellow New Yorker Paul Annacone does all the time. The chip and charge king.
Woodforde creeping in again.
Oh, brilliant.
Absolutely perfect shot down the line. Woodforde uses that two-hander.
Deuce.
The great thing about that shot is you cannot possibly pick where it's going.
Boy, that double fall has really hurt. That was on a game point. Now that shot by Woodforde makes it deuce.
Woodforde has been impressive when he's won that first set. He likes to get off to a quick start, but it's best of 5 here.
I could almost sense that coming.
Advantage Woodforde.
He was being crowded. He just served the double fault and the plane was coming.
Well, now that McEnroe has reached the pivotal point of the match, this is a break point for Woodforde, and if he breaks, he will serve for the second set.
Now, what does he do? Does he go for broke, or does he play to get the first one in?
These are the big points, John, that you've spoken about.
He went for broke, and it worked. Just on the sideline.
Deuce.
Only a third ace for McEnroe. That's slightly unusual. We expect, well, in the old days, we would have expected to see him serve many more than that by now. He clearly has lost a bit on his serve, hasn't he?
And now it is McEnroe's ad.
Advantage McEnroe.
In the second set after a dramatic save of serve by John McEnroe. This is the second round singles. Woodforde won the first set.
Ladies and gentlemen,
McEnroe clinging to life here in the second set.
Asking the New York crowd to be quiet.
That's what you're looking at from down courtside. Is you look up people moving about.
love 15.
Actually, John, to a native New Yorker, the level of civility here is somewhat astounding.
But you know, I bet those NBA players watch these telecasts. Say, are they kidding? When I go to shoot a basket, there's 5,000 people back there waving, screaming at me, trying to make me miss it.
Tomorrow night, there'll be 55,000 people right next door to the tennis center at Shea Stadium, screaming top of their lungs all night as the Mets play the Dodgers.
Big chance here as Barry Phillips Moore looks on at his star pupil, Mark Woodforde. Oh, and Woodforde almost picks off a reflex volley. Watch it here now. The ball hits the top of the net. Woodforde gets in quickly. Now watch how he almost makes this shot. Drilled right at him. He two-hands the ball over the baseline.
And listen to the reaction. 3 set points for McEnroe.
Well, what touch.
A lot of experience there from Woodforde. Calm under pressure.
Extremely disconcerting on court. Please refrain from its use. Thank you.
Well, we hear that throughout the world on night matches, whether you're indoors or out. Flash photography. So disturbing.
Out just over the baseline. McEnroe felt that he hit a winner on that shot. Clearly long, but not much. He goes for it here. You see the ball dropping. He nailed that return, but it was just over the baseline.
Good judgment from Woodforde.
Still a set point.
Oh.
And McEnroe let 3 set points get away on some fine shot making by Woodforde.
Deuce. Brilliant half volley there off another good return from McEnroe. Watch McEnroe tries to pick this up cross court. Hit it well. No way. It is frustrating when you see 3 break points disappear.
He will now have a 4th.
Advantage McEnroe.
This is to even the match at 1 set apiece.
This place will explode if McEnroe wins this point.
And he does.
And second set McEnroe. 6 games to 4.
What looked so dismal for McEnroe moments ago, he is now dead even at 1 set apiece.
1 set all.
And that serve, 1 service on break point down for McEnroe, seemed to change everything.
3rd set McEnroe to serve. Keep your seats, please.
An ace that saved the break point.
I think you're right. Absolutely. It was that point that did finally get him into the match. I feel now he has done just that.
15.
A match that was suspended last night and completed tonight. And look at that in a fifth set tiebreak. The 12th seed, Guillermo Perez Roldan of Argentina, rallies to oust Ken Flack of the United States.
That volley had some punch to it.
13 love.
McEnroe suddenly coming to life now. That second set definitely helped his confidence right in here. Maybe one of the best returns of the evening from Mark Woodforde, because McEnroe starting to open up now on his serve. A lot more velocity, and Woodforde continues to nail the return and keep the pressure on McEnroe coming in behind. Obviously, John McEnroe playing more consistently than he was earlier.
Still waiting for everyone to be seated, and now Woodforde to serve.
Love 15.
His third double fault. The former number one that America has been trying to find a replacement for. You'll see several of those young Americans tomorrow night on USA. Actually, Andre Agassi will play in the day session tomorrow. It's out.
30-15.
Michael Chang, 16-year-old, will play tomorrow night on USA against Jonas B. Svensson of Sweden. Jimmy Connors will also be on USA tomorrow, and Chris Evert and Yvonne Lendl all playing the day session tomorrow beginning at noon Eastern.
40-15.
We're 1-all, third set.
1 game all.
Well, USA's new fall season is right around the corner, and that means the premiere of Miami Vice. Red hot action with Don Johnson and Philip Michael Thomas every night at 7 Eastern starting October 3rd on USA. The day session here ended with a spectacular match, a 5-setter between Mats Wilander and Kevin Curran, which Wilander won.
Curran had a lot of chances in that match, especially in the 4th set, and turned out to be a real thriller.
13.
Seeing that trail from Miami Vice, I rather wish I was coming back here instead of going back to London after the Olympics.
That's right, you're off to Seoul. Many of the players you see here during the 2 weeks of the Open are heading there as well. Tim Mayotte and Brad Gilbert will play singles for the United States in Seoul. Ken Flack and Robert Seguso will play doubles.
John McEnroe found himself in the qualifying for that event when the names were first announced, simply because of his world ranking at the time. It was taken off the world rankings.
course, the controversy on the women's side of Elise Bergen originally being named to the team and then being replaced by the USTA by Chris Evert.
This is just pure anticipation from McEnroe. He hits the backhand volley, starts to move to his left, decides that's where I'm going to go, moved before the ball was there, crunches the forehand volley. Good footwork, good anticipation.
McEnroe rallying to pull out the second set, and we're on serve in the third set. McEnroe having picked up the level of his game.
Mark Woodforde, what a move he's made. Ranked 661st in the world in 1983. 1987, he was 67th. Huge move over that period of time. John, in our day, if you were ranked 661, you were probably 10th on the D ladder at the local club. Heck, there weren't 661 players playing the game.
It has taken good people to beat Woodforde this year in the Grand Slams. Third round, he lost to Lendl at the Australian. Third round at the French, he lost to Cash. Fourth round at Wimbledon, he lost to Lendl.
But I think it says a lot for the depth of the game today that many of the players who many people don't hear about are great athletes and good tennis players, and they're dangerous. Oh, McEnroe with a setup forehand volley did exactly what he wanted to on that approach shot. Big point, too. It would have given him love 40 here. Clean winner, cross court, 15-14.
He is beginning now to show signs of much better timing and therefore confidence.
And 2 break points now for McEnroe.
That's a great lob from Mark Woodforde. Perfectly timed. 30-14. McEnroe hits a good approach here, very near the baseline. Woodforde made no mistake about it. Immediately hit the topspin lob because McEnroe had decided to come in. He was moving forward. He caught him. That is a great volley.
And significantly, Barry, he decided to follow it in, didn't he, here? Beautiful movement, good net coverage, on his toes, ready to go either way, and quick enough for the McEnroe pickup. I think he's got to go in much more than he has been generally to impose himself on McEnroe, who's crowding in himself whenever he can.
And now we've gone from 2 break points for McEnroe to advantage Woodforde.
He can volley. Tough up at that net.
Well, he's a lovely volley. I mean, he's such a good doubles player, which is one of the best training grounds for volleys. All you club players know.
On serve in the third set. McEnroe had 2 break points in that game. Woodforde saved them.
Suddenly good quality tennis now. McEnroe in, hits the good low volley. Woodforde nails this shot, but it's a little high. All McEnroe has to do is just block the shot, use the pace of the Woodforde passing shot.
Just about 50% there for McEnroe.
And McEnroe has now won 13 of his last 14 service points. The serve so inconsistent early in the match, now is on a hot streak.
Oh, that's great. I tell you, the quality of this tennis has moved up a notch right here. McEnroe hit what looked to be a winning volley there. Somehow Woodforde got his racket on it.
In the old days, when the magic eye, the Cyclops, was introduced, they didn't have an audible bleep. The only man who heard it was the linesman who wore a pair of headphones. I'm sure it's better that it should be public. Then we all know what's happened.
40-15.
And McEnroe has spoken at length about his desires to even take some of the money from tennis that's in prize money and use it to develop a fully electronic system that would call all the lines.
Debatable point, that, whether in fact it would take something from the game in terms of atmosphere and human error and so on.
Hey, you got to have somebody yell out, Ted.
He's yelled at machines.
This is such a good shot here because it gives you an idea of how difficult it is to return the McEnroe serve. Look at how his back turns right there.
All his life, McEnroe has suffered from being a perfectionist. Not an easy life, is it?
Our pictures from producer Stephen Feder and director Peter Blechter tonight.
John McEnroe, the perfectionist, for me was perfection itself in the 1983 Wimbledon final when he beat Jimmy Connors, and Connors playing well.
Oh, that hurt.
The 9th double fault by McEnroe.
Call. Woodforde thought it was a fault.
Oh, I think from here it was a long. Oh, I'm surprised. All I can tell you is that it.
It's not. I mean, we've complained. He's complained so many times. It's the first time I'm complaining. The ball's half a foot long.
Yes.
Like that from here, it was really close. He thought the ball
If
was
it's
in
really close, there should be it's yes or no. It was long by half a foot.
I think
I mean, it's made so many errors. Just take it off, Richard.
I think
seen is at least calling consistently, I'm going to leave it on.
I think actually it was beyond the scope of the magic eye. It only takes a short.
It's about 18 inches, I think, John, and if it is, that ball was out by more than 18 inches. He said half a foot.
USA Sports. We have been exactly 2 hours, and not even halfway through the third set. It's been an outstanding match.
Big turnout tonight. We thought it was a huge crowd last night, but I'm looking around these stands, and it certainly looks like there are a few more bodies out here tonight than even last night.
The real buzz here, isn't it? It's wonderful, the atmosphere. This is a marvelous stadium in which to play tennis and in which to watch it. I get a real kick coming here.
A 20,000 seat stadium, most of them filled tonight.
This match 1 minute past 2 hours old.
Lob 15.
Woodforde thought it was wide.
Well, I think he was mistaken. It was a beautiful shot.
Of course, things change here at night. Everybody's riveted to their seats on the stadium court. On a day like today, the fans tend to roam around and follow the word of mouth where the upsets are taking place. And there were 3 big ones this afternoon with Becker, Gilbert, and Shriver all out.
54 wins here. The second to Jimmy Connors at the Open, 85.
Well, one of the big differences between Wimbledon and the U.S. Open, there are roughly 20,000 seats in this stadium, and there's 20,000 tickets, and then you can roam the grounds. At Wimbledon, John, they do have the field passes where you are allowed to roam the grounds, but you do not have a seat on the center court.
14,000 seats on the center court, just a little more than that, of course, with the standing.
And
23,000 in the ground. They shut the gates at 23,000 now, and it's much more comfortable. They used to have 25, 26, 27 in there.
Here is McEnroe's chance again. He'll have 2 break points.
15-14.
He had 2 in Woodford's last service game, but was unable to break.
It's a different McEnroe though now. He's beginning to believe in himself. If he does come through this match, it will have done him a power of good to have had such a test.
Woodforde just missing down the line. And a very unhappy
leads 4 games
Mark
to 2.
Woodforde, who has had chances. Suddenly McEnroe has come to life here in this third set, starting to take the second serve of Woodforde and get in behind it, and he's volleying more crisply now.
McEnroe now hoping to follow that first break of the third set with a decisive service game.
Talked about that pivotal 7th game often, and here it is again. McEnroe holds. He's up 5-2. It gets broken. This match, or this set, very close again at 4-3.
Brilliant. The anticipation of Woodforde there was quite beautiful to watch.
He took a big swing on that forehand, John. Really anticipated.
Most people find John McEnroe's serve so very difficult to read. That match I spoke of, the 1983 Wimbledon final, Jimmy Collins was often going one way while the ball was going the other.
Woodforde has played 3 great returns of serve in a row. That was the third, putting McEnroe in all kinds of trouble, and on good first serves.
Rather what happened in the first set if he does break.
Woodforde just broke right back at low. And we're again on serve in the third set.
And when you say broke back, that is the most perfect game of returning the serve I have seen this championship.
4 brilliant returns, because John McEnroe did not serve badly. He hit good first serves deep to Woodforde. Woodforde knocked all 4 of them right off.
Please. Behind the court. Thank you.
Because one of the problems of this stadium is that the walkways are on the inside. They inherited this stadium from football. It was the Louis B. Armstrong Stadium, wasn't it?
Love 15.
McEnroe comes right back. First point. Another good return. That's 5 good returns in a row. And 6.
Love 30.
So service all of a sudden has become a little insignificant with great returns of serve, and it's love 30.
We have now seen 7 unbelievable points, all won by the receiver.
And 3 break points for McEnroe, which would then allow him to serve for the set.
That is incredible.
McEnroe.
Well, that
What
is
a turnaround.
extraordinary.
You rarely see 8 points like that.
McEnroe
With
leads 5 games to 3.
good serving and yet better returning.
Do you know that's 11 points in a row that have gone against the serve?
And as John McEnroe Sr. watches, John Jr. serves for the third set.
I think we ought to forget about the serve here.
Love 15.
Put it on a tee for the receiver, huh?
This is most unusual.
A reminder once again, no.
It's a very good example of what a fair surface this Deck of Turf 2 is, isn't it?
Absolutely, John. I don't think you'd ever see that on grass, even if the grass courts are perfect. The ball's going to stay too low to have that happen. Thought for a moment we had broken through with a McEnroe ace. Not so. It's a fault.
Love 30.
Got everybody perplexed, including McEnroe.
Well, I don't think I can recall ever a moment in my tennis history when I've seen 13 points in a row taken against the serve in singles.
15-30.
There is Vitas Gerulaitis, who played so many good matches right here, sitting next to Tatum O'Neill McEnroe.
And there's the ace that we've been looking for. That is the 6th by McEnroe. And we're at 30 all.
30 all.
You know, McEnroe said at Toronto that Mark Woodforde reminded him so much of Rod Laver, and he thought it was Laver over there, which really psyched him out. He said that won't happen tonight. There's the look-alike Laver right there. Mark Woodforde, of course, defeated John McEnroe, and the only time they've played in Toronto, the Canadian Championships, 2.5 weeks ago.
Having previously in the same tournament beaten Edberg, the Wimbledon champion. Don't often beat two former Wimbledon champions in the same tournament.
Not a bad week.
The tape does not give, and now it is a break point for Woodforde. Points by both players.
It's been so good, in fact, that the terrible danger of taking the whole thing for granted, but the skill level, I can assure you, is extremely high. And it points up the rising standard among the men, doesn't it? The depth now is just extraordinary. Woodforde, remember, ranked just 36 in the world.
Love 15.
What has McEnroe done to the two of you in the last set and a half to really raise his game?
First of all, the pace has picked up, Ted. He has begun to return serve much more crisply than he did before, and he's also accelerating his own serve more. Good example right there. A lot more pace on that passing shot. He lined it up and went for it.
Love 30.
Watch how McEnroe hits through on this ball now. The rocket back real early, and look at the weight move in. Look where he ends up on that shot. Halfway between the baseline and the service line.
The major improvement really has been that he's cut out the unforced errors and taken his chances. That was what disfigured his game in the first set.
An approach shot floated for a moment there. I thought it might just hang over the baseline, but it dropped in.
Oh, that was a costly error.
But John, a reason I think he missed that ball is because McEnroe has been so tough on the passing shots. You get to a point where you feel you have to overplay that first volley, and he did.
McEnroe broke Woodforde to win the second set. He will have 2 chances to do the same in the third set.
You know, after the previous point, that was a very gutsy first volley.
Woodforde showing a lot of concentration there.
Well played.
Deuce.
Woodforde has played marvelously on big points tonight.
advantage Woodforde.
Everything went just as per schedule here. He really moves his weight into that. Look at the feet come off the ground. It's exactly what he wants to. Lines up the backhand volley and hits it into the net.
Game Woodforde.
And Mark Woodforde saving 2 set points. Holds to 5-all.
5 games over.
You can take this set and put it away in the vaults. Bring it back sometime. Great tennis.
I miss the white hat, don't you?
Low.
That's what I mean about not guessing the direction of the serve. He had no idea which side he was going.
The 7th ace for McEnroe.
Low.
Watch how Woodforde picks this shot right off the baseline now. McEnroe hits a deep ball that floats for a minute. Half volley on the full swing down the line and just gets inside the sideline. That's not what you call a high percentage shot, but Woodforde had no choice on what to do there. That was the only shot he could hit.
Oh,
He did it again.
Unbelievable.
He takes a big swing on that forehand return, but if everything goes right. Watch the swing now on this left-handed return. Big swing. Right in front, however. Connects perfectly. Starts back to the middle of the court. Didn't have to worry. It was a clean winner.
30-all. And now McEnroe faces one of those points, as he did in the second set. A break point against that would let Woodforde serve for the set.
That was a marvelously clever change of pace. He'd been driving all his returns of serve, and McEnroe totally bewildered by the slower one.
So close that one little slip up can change everything. And here was John McEnroe moments ago with 2 set points. And now Woodforde, Mark Woodforde, a left-handed Aussie, is serving for the 3rd set.
I think we need Angela Lansbury here. Murder, she wrote. There's been murder of the serve of John McEnroe. He's lost his last 3.
Woodforde has had 3 break points in this set and has won all 3. He's played the big points well.
Low 15.
You could hear Woodforde there say, yep, the minute that he makes his move, just leans slightly to his right, the ball goes to his left. McEnroe saw him going that way, went cross court.
Of course, the percentage play now is to go in, force McEnroe to make his passing shot, carry the fight to the man who's down, particularly when he's just lost his third service game in a row. Glad to see he is following it in, but here is the key as to whether he's really confident. Will he follow the second serve in? I doubt it.
He does. Oh, and a tough fall for Woodforde. He went down hard there.
Wow, this is not the surface you like to fall on.
I think he's lost. I think he really knocked the wind out of himself. Barry Phillips Moore. He might have done something here. Let's watch it one more time as he comes in. Now right there, he pushes off and both feet off the ground. He hit hard on that left knee, hit real hard on the left knee.
That was a heavy fall.
Yeah. There you can see it got skinned up a bit, but now the test will be this point right here.
Look again, I think you'll see as he checks to push off just there, the foot slides and he never can regain his balance. And he has to make an attempt to play the volley at this stage of the match. 15-all. Sorry, love 30, of course. Excuse me, love 30, love 40.
Love 40.
And serve remains elusive here as McEnroe has 3 break points for a tie break.
He's done it.
Great point by McEnroe. And we have a third set tiebreak.
Six games all, third set tiebreak.
Watch the movement now. A good half volley by Woodforde. McEnroe on the full run, drills it cross court. He tries to half volley that ball. Watch John here, though. On the full run again, he swings on the forehand. Woodforde miraculously gets it, but it's going to go long.
McEnroe to serve first.
He is definitely shook up. A little blood coming out underneath the knee there of Woodforde.
Woodforde now will serve twice.
1-0 McEnroe.
There is the fall and the sting that Woodforde will feel until I'm sure he gets a chance to address that during the changeover. Oh! 7 points wins the tie break, but you must win by 2.
Hurting.
1-all.
Woodforde quickly in, lines up this two-hander, drills it, but right after he does that, you can see him looking down. That leg is really giving him some pain right now. You know, somebody said a set with 6 service breaks. They say probably wasn't a very good set. This has been one of the best sets of tennis I've ever seen.
Wonderful
and yet
tennis.
6 service breaks. Hits it.
2-1 McEnroe.
What a tragedy then for the Woodforde camp. Barry Phillips Moore, who's seen the development of Woodforde for all his tennis life.
It's 2-1 McEnroe, and he serves twice.
Woodforde tempting McEnroe there to hit to that two-hander on the return. He's leaving a lot of room open on the right side.
Woodforde needing a changeover, but he won't get it until the tiebreak ends.
I tell you, that knee is going to be desperately sore tomorrow. It won't be too bad now while it's warm.
Oh, that is a fabulous return up the line. Again off that two-handed return.
3-2 Woodforde.
He loves to get a ball on that right side. Watch the two-hander here now. Well inside the baseline, moves into it. He really has good touch and good feel on that right-hand side. Ooh.
3-all.
This is a difficult moment, isn't it always, Barry, when you're changing ends in the middle of a tiebreak?
And John, I'm surprised that Woodforde went to the far side there rather than at least perhaps getting a towel and doing something with that knee, which I'm sure is bothering him. Technically, you're not supposed to stop, just change sides. This is all part of one game.
Third set tiebreak at 1 set apiece and 3 points apiece in the tiebreak.
The last 5 service points all gone against the serve. Sorry, 5 of the last 6.
And now 2 serves for McEnroe, and he is leading 4 points to 3.
What the hell is going on back there? Constituted disturbance.
McEnroe now.
It just be going on the whole match, right?
Unbelievable. McEnroe looking at a second serve here.
Thank you.
It is really rather too much, isn't it?
And all McEnroe does here, besides upsetting Woodforde, is get the fans more riled.
And have we been more than 30 seconds, or have we? I mean, really, easily.
Oh, he got away with it.
He's
5-3
smarting.
There's really no time limit between first and second serve.
Richard Ings, I believe, saying that there is no time limit between first and second serves. Woodforde obviously saying, hey, we're taking too much time here. Ings saying, once you've hit the first serve, you can take as much time as you like before you hit the second.
And a great first serve, and McEnroe now leads 6-3 in the tiebreak.
Not
6-3 McEnroe.
But it's not true, because
Right in the middle of the crowd is Steve Alvarez.
Thank you very much, Ted. I'm with Vitas Gerulaitis, another New York boy who had some fine moments out here. Hey, you know John McEnroe real well, and you've seen him hit some brilliant shots and seen him do some things not so brilliant. What is he lacking in his game to keep him from getting back?
I tell you, I don't think he's lacking anything. I don't think people realize how well this kid's playing. I haven't seen too many of the new players, and this guy's really been putting John to the test. John gets through this match, I'll tell you, he'll be awfully, awfully tough to beat in this tournament. Awfully tough. This guy's played about as well as I've seen somebody play in a long time.
You know John real well. Has he talked to you about how difficult this comeback is?
Yeah, he's mentioned it once or twice. I mean, it's, you know, I think he feels it's a mistake that he took the year off, and but that's, you know, that's you know, history. But I think that he could definitely do it if he feels like putting in the time and the effort, which I think he's doing. You know, he just has to have, you know, the confidence to you know, come back and do the things and be as aggressive and as offensive as he used to be.
How much is it in the head? Because physically he's got the tools.
I mean, you know, what do you call it? Confidence is 99% of the game, you know, and if you've got it, I mean, you know, you can beat a few guys. I mean, it's only 1 or 2 points the difference in a couple of these matches. And he hasn't lost any of the technique parts, you know, and he's just as fast, I mean, from what I've seen today.
Has he changed at all, personality-wise, on the court, or is he still the same guy?
I think he's just as tough as he ever was, you know. I mean, I think he's refined his act a little bit, you know, and I think I've enjoyed seeing a good match. I mean, I think that's what people enjoy it. Everybody's had their personality. I mean, that's why 6, 7 years ago you had a couple of colorful guys, and now almost everybody's the same. So I mean, that's why it's great to see Mac out there. And, you know, I mean, that's what you pay to see a show. You pay to see, I mean, besides tennis, I mean, you want to get entertained a little bit, don't you? So why did you boo and hiss a few guys?
Vitas, thanks for talking to us. I like the hat.
Oh, thank you very much.
Vitas having the same problem I am. He can't get into the players area, and I can't get down to where you are. So we got to trade badges.
All right, we will.
What a
I enjoyed it.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. Back up to you, Ted.
40-15.
First game, 4th set. It is 40-15 on Mark Woodforde's serve.
You know, it's amazing. Gerolaitis and Steve were kind of right on the other end from McEnroe. Now, wouldn't have been marvelous if he said, "Hey, sit down up there, will you, Vitas?"
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain as quiet as possible whilst the ball is in play. Thank you.
There was a mass exodus during that changeover, but those who are remaining a little too noisy for the players. And we're at deuce.
He turned a little awkwardly after missing that volley. I'm wondering whether that knee is still troubling him.
Troubled Woodforde strongly was that tie break. When he went to the chair, he slammed his racket down and was very upset with the way that tie break developed.
That was an absolutely crucial point, and they both know it.
But the one thing about that leg is that it is his left leg that hit hard. He's a left-hander, and so when he gets ready to serve, he is putting more weight on the right leg. So it could help him in that respect. It's the left one that really got jammed when he went down so hard.
The only man I know who could fall intentionally on this surface and still get up smiling was Boris Becker. He used to terrify me when he used to throw himself after the ball.
Second serve on deuce. Point number 2. There were all sorts of upsets today. Boris Becker went out early today. So did Brad Gilbert from the men's field. Pam Shriver from the women's field.
Ladies
Other
and gentlemen,
scores.
quiet, please.
Diego Nargiso of Italy beat Patrick Kunin of West Germany. The winner of this match plays Nargiso. Paul Annacone out on a 5th set tiebreak to John Frawley. And Canada's Martin Laurendo winning in straight sets over Menno Oosting of the Netherlands. Again, Diego Nargiso of Italy is the next opponent for the winner of this McEnroe-Woodforde match.
So many good young Australians suddenly. Darren Cahill beating Becker today. This gentleman, Woodforde, playing so well. You've got Todd Woodbridge, Jason Stoltenberg, and Mark Kratzman. It's like
It's the young Australians like the young Americans. And we'll see Jason Stoltenberg tomorrow against Yannick Noah on USA.
It's almost like a flashback, Ted, to the 50s and 60s when those great Australians just kept coming. Sedgman, McGregor, so many of them.
Love 30.
That's one of the toughest shots to play in the game, the high backhand smash.
You've got no leverage. Everything's going against you, and it takes a lot of strength from the shoulder right down to the wrist. Good forearm. Lou Hode used to knock those off, John, like they were normal shots. He was so strong. Lou Hode, of course, the winner at Wimbledon in 1956 and 1957 from Australia.
Just failed on the last leg of the Grand Slam here in New York.
Love 40.
His traveling companion Ken Rose will beat him.
All right. Well, now McEnroe's in trouble again on his 11th double fault. Woodforde has 3 break points, and that may diffuse McEnroe's momentum after winning the 3rd set.
It just occurred to me, you know, that John McEnroe has only played 1 5-set match this year. That was Perez Roldan in the Davis Cup. He probably hasn't played a 5-set match for about a year. Ooh. He'll want to finish it in 4.
15-40.
And Woodforde breaks to go up 2-love in the
Woodforde
4th set.
leads 2 games to love.
McEnroe did play a 5-set match here last year. He came back from 2 sets to 1 down to beat Zivojinovic in the 3rd round. But he has played so few matches this year.
Love.
This is a superb point. Both players hitting as hard as they can. Low shot there from McEnroe. Now watch the good topspin as the ball lands right on the line.
13 love.
Woodforde would love to get an easy service game. He has not had many tonight. On the heels of his break, 30 love. And 40 love.
14 love.
It's beginning to fall apart.
McEnroe leading 2 sets to 1.
That's a pretty decisive figure there.
Love 15.
McEnroe thought that ball was out.
And you kind of wonder right now at this stage in the match, what's going through McEnroe's mind. Should he lose his serve here, he's down 4-love. Does he start saying, got to conserve a little energy and start thinking about the 5th set? Or does he try and stay in and get back into the 4th set?
It's a very dangerous thing to chuck the 4th set. The whole momentum swings to your opponent. You've got to try and make him fight for it. Provided, of course, that the well of energy hasn't run dry.
John, I think he'll do that, but the way he does it, he might hit some drop shots with the intent of making a lot of the opponent run, but not really exert himself too much.
Yeah. 15 all.
No question of his fitness. He played a 10-8 5th set at Wimbledon this year against Yvonne Lendl.
Concentrate.
Nope. That's good advice. That's a great athletic smash.
30-15.
Footwork, the secret of overhead play. Getting back under the falling ball quickly, and the leap.
All.
An extraordinary statistic, isn't it?
Wouldn't one of the Swedes love to break that reign this year? You'll see Connors and Lendl tomorrow on USA.
And of course, Lendl has been in 6 of those 10 finals.
40-30.
The last 6.
Noon Eastern tomorrow, and then again at 7:30 Eastern time tomorrow night. And McEnroe holds. Woodforde still up a break in the 4th set. Expect
Woodforde
the unexpected when Alfred Hitchcock presents Saturdays at 10/9 Central. All new episodes, part of USA's fall season, beginning Saturday, October 8th.
Well, this perhaps the biggest game of the match, I think, because if McEnroe could somehow break back here, we got a new set going, and yet Woodforde is serving extremely well. If he goes to a 4-1 lead, I think we're going to have a 5-setter. The leg that we were so worried about with Woodforde a set ago seems to be cleared up very well. He's moving well, not having too much trouble at all right now.
15 all.
The bruise will only start to affect him when he's stopped playing and rested a bit. Tomorrow morning he'll get out of bed very sore.
That's lopsided, but McEnroe made a large majority of those unforced errors early in this match.
There are signs now that they're creeping back. Oh.
(40-15).
Again, the good control here from Woodforde. He actually gets backed up. Watch him. He is moving backwards as he hits the shot, but a lot of strength in the forearm, and he used the wrist.
A beautiful stretch this from McEnroe. He has the tremendous reach, just not good enough.
Game Woodforde.
Woodforde has been impressive in this fourth set. He leads 4-1.
Woodforde leads 4-2.
The third set in a tie break to come right back out to a 4-1 lead in the fourth set. McEnroe down the one break in the fourth set.
As we've said, that score can be deceptive. 4-1 looks a lot worse than it really is.
But I think for Woodforde, he has to feel like that's a major victory after the way he lost the third. He has broken McEnroe's serve 8 times in the match.
Crucial moments in a match. Choice of shot is absolutely vital, isn't it? Such a good lob, such a good moment to lob.
Notice one other thing on the return of serve. Woodforde seems to have been able to pick up the direction of the McEnroe serve just a split second early. He's quick on the return. He's got a good stance.
Just over 3 hours of tennis. 15 all, 4-1 fourth set.
Who do you like in a fifth set, Barry?
John, you shouldn't ask me that. Not at this crucial stage in the fourth.
McEnroe's serve deserting him in this fourth set, and Woodforde's rising dramatically.
Which is the only respectable figure on that board. You want to serve towards 70%, around 70.
Well, those figures might tell a little bit about how strong the return of serve has been tonight. A lot of second serves being dished up.
Now McEnroe holds, and it's 4-2 Woodforde in the fourth set.
Woodforde leads 4-2.
Again, the seventh game in that last set could have been 5-2. Instead, there was a break, and it turned out to be 4-3. We'll see if that might happen again.
Good.
Love 15.
McEnroe using the pace here now. He comes in quick. It's this lunging backhand volley right into the corner. I'm not sure he meant to make quite so good a return on that ball. He had the idea to come in behind it, but once he hit it, I'm sure he surprised himself slightly. Didn't mean to hit it quite that well.
(15-30).
Woodforde ready, and McEnroe's walking.
You know, McEnroe and Lendl have one similarity on return of serve. They start off diagonally with their footwork. There you see one leg behind, and then as the ball's in the air, they'll come up parallel.
Good serving. Nevertheless, the important thing from McEnroe's point of view is that he is back in contention now. He's not just let the set slip away. That was crucially important.
And Woodforde comes back to win. He leads 5-2 in the fourth.
Since you don't.
Just a superb match tonight. In a second straight night. Last night, Ivan Lendl needing 5 sets to beat Amos Monsdorf. Tonight, Aussie Mark Woodforde is 1 game away from taking John McEnroe to a 5th set.
Quiet, please.
McEnroe still down a break in this 4th set to serve.
That must have hit the line.
Woodforde had a look over at the lines person. No call. It did look like it was going to float long there for a moment.
Still not convinced.
What McEnroe really needs here is a quick service game, not expend much energy, and then really concentrate on the next crucial 5-3 game.
McEnroe's ball out on the sideline. It is 30-15.
Great coverage up here. The only way McEnroe gets this ball is to start early, which he did. But Woodforde's only shot was in desperation up the line, so McEnroe really wasn't taking a chance there as he covered that ball with the backhand volley.
40-15. And McEnroe holds. And will now try to break as Mark Woodforde will serve for the fourth set.
Woodforde leads 5 games to 3.
And the pressure is back on the Australian. As Barry Mackay wanted, McEnroe had an easy service game.
He really did. That was not a tough game on his serve, John. I think the very first point of this game will tell you who's going to win this set. Oh, just as Woodforde gets ready for the toss, some whistles.
Love 15. And McEnroe wins the point, the first one. For those of you tuning in to see Alfred Hitchcock Presents, you will see it in USA in its entirety. For those of you on the West Coast, you will see Riptide immediately following tennis. And that is our score on Stadium Court.
Oh, and he tries a drop volley.
Bad choice of shot again.
Woodforde surprised, actually. McEnroe dumps a cross court here, and I think Woodforde was very surprised, thought he was going up the line. He knew the moment he hit that ball.
If you look at this reaction after he makes the shot, he knows it was the wrong one to try. There it is.
It's as if he tried to guide the ball over the net.
Almost looked like he tried to hit it twice.
McEnroe has his opening.
Tracy Austin enjoying 15 men's match.
She's just beginning what John McEnroe has been trying for 2 years to do. Come back to #1. Tracy Austin playing doubles here.
Of course, going through McEnroe's mind now is the fact that Woodforde, he had him love 30 in his last service game, and here it goes again.
And McEnroe got a second serve on the love 30 point. Was not able to win it.
Well, you have to give Woodforde credit. When he's had to come through in difficult situations, he has been extremely strong. Love 30 down. He's played a great game to get to 40-30 here.
Set point.
I'd like to have seen him follow that serve in. But all credit to McEnroe. Taking his time.
Slowing Woodforde down.
Woodforde likes to play fast. I've noticed that throughout the evening. He is ready to go much more quickly than most players. And McEnroe at this point is definitely trying to slow the pace.
That was the shot of a man who's really not played enough tennis matches.
Woodforde 6 games to 3.
For the second straight night on Stadium Court in the late hours of the evening, we go to a fifth set. John McEnroe and Mark Riptide immediately following tennis. But it's going to be a bit longer, folks. Something about the electricity of Stadium Court. for 3 hours and 18 minutes they've seen, and now they urge McEnroe on in this fifth set.
Thank you.
He guessed right. He was on the right side of the net, but just too much pace from that Woodforde forehand.
John mentioned earlier, McEnroe has had one 5-set match this year in Davis Cup. He won it. Woodforde has played 4 5-set matches this year, winning 2 and losing 2. And he did have one last year against Zivianovich. It's an amazing feat.
That really is.
Fitness was clearly a difference in last night's 5th set.
Oh yeah, Lendl just wore Arnsdorf out. His legs went there. 6-love in the 5th. Uh-oh, McEnroe slipped badly, but not quite so hard as Woodforde earlier.
Same exact spot as Woodforde's ball.
Look at it one more time as he gets set there. You see the right leg caved in as he pushed off. Dropped that racket in a hurry to brace his fall. John Sr. and Tatum a little concerned.
You were making the point just now about McEnroe not having played more than one 5-set match. He hasn't played many matches at all this year, just 23.
15.
That ball was clearly inside the line.
He won't change it. Nor should he.
I mean, if there's a...
McEnroe had his moments in the first set, but has been relatively controlled since. But now Woodforde has 2 break points in the first game of the 5th set.
That is incredible on the passing shot.
First game, final set.
Mark Woodforde breaks to start the 5th set. We're back after this from your local. Let frustrations show during the changeover.
Lovely 10.
McEnroe verbally went at it with chair umpire Richard Ings during the changeover. But Woodforde has the answers on the court right now.
The thing about the passing shots of Woodforde, they are both strong off both sides, but the forehand is a bit more variety. Deceptive, he can go cross court like he did right there, or ease it up the line.
And you know, the interesting thing is that when you are in a crucial moment in a match, you don't think about what you're doing. You just react to the ball and play. You just play instinctively. Woodforde now in his 46th match of this season, and McEnroe only in his 24th. That's why.
Woodforde seems to be stepping up his pace the way he's hitting the ball.
Good approach out there. He really leaned into it. Both feet off the ground as he went for it. Good.
One of the first signs of emotion of the evening came from Woodforde after this shot.
Just too good. McEnroe stretches. Now watch this cross-court passing shot. It stays low. McEnroe went for it. It was too good.
Right after that, Woodforde, for the first time tonight, a little emotion.
Well, you know, Ted, good point, because he has been wonderfully composed all evening. He has competed well, played within himself, many points. And for a youngster with not that much huge match experience, he's been impressive.
But he came of age at Wimbledon against Lendl.
That certainly helped him.
Unlucky.
15 all.
15 all.
I don't think he heard the call. That's right,
No.
he didn't. There's so much noise going on here, but Ings is just explaining that it was called, and he was right. I saw it, saw the arm go up at the far end.
Richard Ings of Australia, the chair umpire.
And really one of the full-time touring umpires. He's all over the world and has had a lot of experience.
For our viewers in the Eastern and Central time zones, will be leaving tennis at 11:30 Eastern time. However, CBS Sports Highlights show at 11:30 will provide progress of this match. For our viewers on the West Coast, USA will stay with live coverage on the West Coast to the conclusion of this match. (30-15).
40-15.
And a game McEnroe absolutely must win. He delivers his 8th ace, and it is 40-15.
Oh dear, nasty one.
40-30.
Out of pace as McEnroe goes for his shoe. He'll towel off. The left arm went under in a big hurry there. McEnroe now with a nice easy motion tries to hustle in just a little extra here, and as he pushes off, down he goes.
And seeing it from another angle, that was where the left foot slipped. The traction was not there. That was a nasty fall. Very sensibly, though, he went to towel off. It's a terrible mistake to get up and go straight on. You want to compose yourself.
40-30. And McEnroe, by using that moment, composes himself to hold serve. Mark Woodforde, who had beaten John McEnroe in Toronto last month, up a break in the 5th set. For those of you watching in the Eastern and Central time zones, we will be leaving tennis at the bottom of this hour, but CBS Sports Highlight Show will continue to give you progress of this match. On the West Coast, USA will stay with live coverage to the conclusion of this second round match.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
Well, we have not seen all the matches on the outer courts, but certainly this match, one of the best quality matches played thus far at the 1988 U.S. Open.
And the reason why, perhaps, gentlemen, both players have raised the level
15.
of their game as the match has progressed.
It has been an accelerating progress of skill. Quite delightful to watch.
Oh.
$15 all.
Such a great competitor, this man, throughout his career.
$30-15.
He prowls the court like a caged lion, doesn't he?
A lot of twitching. He's almost like a pitcher as he gets ready. A lot of little idiosyncrasies that he goes through.
Fault.
Oh, it's an overall.
Richard Ings in the chair.
$40-15.
Woodforde has held his serve 6 straight times, and McEnroe must end that streak to stay in the match at some point. And Woodforde stays up a break. He now leads 3 games to 1.
Woodforde leads 3 games to 1.
Pulled himself together very well there on that overrule. Again, good composure and good concentration from the young Australian.
And what a contrast. I wonder what would have happened if it had been McEnroe that had been overruled.
Again, on our Eastern and Central time zones, viewers, we will be leaving tennis at 11:30 Eastern time. We will return, however, tomorrow at noon Eastern. Matches featuring Jimmy Connors, Chris Evert, and Andre Agassi's second round matches. And at 7:30 Eastern tomorrow night, Gabriela Sabatini and the young American 16-year-old Michael Chang.
What a lineup. A lot of people think Sabatini with some kind of a chance to perhaps stop the great streak of Steffi. is wide.
Well, 30.
McEnroe unloads here on a passing shot. Watch this great shot as he goes up the line for the ball. He thought it got in. The linesman hesitated and then called out. This is where Woodforde has really concentrated on these delays.
He's been through all this before. In a Davis Cup match against LeConte earlier this year. He learned a wonderful lesson. Kept so calm and composed, hasn't he?
But right now, all the pressure is there. He must hold serve here. And he's at love 30.
All credit to Woodforde for taking advantage of McEnroe's low first service percentage tonight. From this moment on, it would be a great help to his cause if he could get the first ball in.
John, amazingly enough, on good first serves tonight, Woodforde has been very effective. He's picked the first serve, he's knocked it off, and used the pace very well.
Woodforde's percentage there nearly respectable. McEnroe's too low.
And this is it for McEnroe. He would be down 2 breaks if he loses here. Not even close.
Point.
That'll rank with the best points of tonight.
So McEnroe must win one more to stay in the game. So let's see if Woodforde continues to creep in on the second serve on a break point. Woodforde goes up 2 breaks, 4 games to 1 in the 5th and deciding set. And now this young man may be able to taste a major victory at the U.S. Open. For those viewers on the Eastern and Central time zones, USA Sports now will leave coverage of this match, but CBS Sports will present a highlight package at 11:30 Eastern time. We'll be back with you on USA tomorrow at noon Eastern. Second round action continues, featuring Jimmy Connors, Chris Everett, Andre Agassi, and Yannick Noah. 7:30 Eastern tomorrow night with Gabriela Sabatini and Michael Chang. Join us then. Tonight's coverage of the 1988 U.S. Open has been brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? For Barry McKay, John Barrett, Steve Alvarez, and Ann White, I'm Ted Robinson. For those of you in the Eastern and Central time zones, good night. And for those of you on the West Coast, welcome back. 3 hours and 41 minutes of tennis, and now
time.
The moment of reckoning may be arriving for John McEnroe. The funny thing, guys, you know, this is a second round match, but if McEnroe goes on to lose this match, I don't think he can hold himself in too much shame. He's played very well. He's playing an outstanding player.
He is indeed, Ted. You know, basically, I think you're a West Coast guy, Ted.
Can I say hello, San Francisco?
You really said hello, West. It was nice.
John McEnroe going along to look at that moment at the point on the court where he lost a crucial point in the last game.
Quiet, please.
He's got to dismiss all of that from his mind. He hasn't lost this match yet. It is still there to be won. 2 breaks down is not defeat.
Love 15.
Stadium court, U.S. Open. Woodforde serving at love 15.
We are live from the National Tennis Meadow, New York at the U.S. Open. And our highlights are taking you to the 5th round, the 5th set of the 2nd round action between Mark Woodforde and John McEnroe, with a 22-year-old Australian from Adelaide up 4-1 in the deciding 5th set. Woodforde serving broke John McEnroe in the first game of this 5th set, and again to go ahead 4-1. Mark Woodforde won the first set 7-5. John McEnroe won the next 2, 6-4 and 7-6 in the tiebreaker. And then Woodforde defeated McEnroe 6-3 in the 4th set. Richard Ings, the chair umpire for the match. And Woodforde with a victory over McEnroe in the Canadian Open at Toronto just a few.
Nation is still breathing. McEnroe with a break point.
30-40.
First break point that Woodforde has faced on his serve, I think, and since the first game of the 4th set.
Oh, the opening was there. Woodforde was leaning cross court. John saw him go to his right, went up the line. Now watch this, because McEnroe definitely had a chance here for the passing shot. A little high on the return, but right here he takes off early. Then Woodforde hesitated. A big opening up the line. Couldn't pull it off.
Oh, it's in.
And it stays in right in the corner.
Advantage Woodforde.
It was one of those balls you would have sworn it was going to go out. It looked like it was curving out and just hung in at the last moment.
Mark Woodforde is now 1 game in the match.
Woodforde leads 5-1.
Well, really, that is a marvelous performance from this young man. It really is. He's played a calm and collected match throughout. He's taken all that McEnroe has given him in the tantrum department calmly.
John McEnroe Sr. on the left. Tatum O'Neal McEnroe on the right.
So just under half his approaches to the net have been successful. That's hurt him tonight.
Well, I think it says a lot for the great passing shots and how well and low Woodforde has kept the ball. McEnroe, a superb volleyer, and yet this young man right here has really kept him on his toes up at net.
12 double faults by McEnroe. We apologize for the technical glitch a few moments ago that confused the feeds that you were watching. CBS and USA. This is USA Sports. Live with you in the Pacific time zone. And Hawaii, we assume. And we'll be here till the conclusion of this match. (40-15). But Woodforde knows that he's going to get the match on his racket in a moment.
This match closing in on 4 hours. 3 hours and 48 minutes. Oh.
He led this match 2-1. Won an emotional tiebreak in the third set and seemed to have the momentum. But Woodforde quickly reversed it. That perhaps is the most impressive thing about Woodforde tonight.
Well, they've been complaining about the calls from the Magic Eye Cyclops. Tonight, both of them.
Jeez.
Deuce.
Ooh, went for a big second serve there. Took a chance down the middle. Called wide.
Unlucky at 13 in the double fault department.
That backhand down the line has been superb all night for Woodforde.
Advantage Woodforde.
And now it is match point.
Watch this now. McEnroe unwinds. Woodforde nails it up the line. He has hit that two-handed return about as well as I've ever seen him hit it throughout these 5 sets.
What a moment for Barry Phillips-Moore.
What a night. And what a day it has been for young Australian tennis players. Darren Cahill beating Boris Becker on the grandstand court this afternoon. And tonight on Stadium Court, before national television, Mark Woodforde defeats John McEnroe for the second time in a month. And perhaps strips away the last bit of invincibility John McEnroe felt on this court. And as McEnroe walks off, you have to wonder at age 29, and the way his game has gone, will he ever walk back onto this court?
Well, a great victory for Woodforde, no question about it. McEnroe congratulated him well there at the end. I thought he walked up and said, "Too good, you beat me fair and square."
That's the way McEnroe must feel. This is a tip your hat evening. You tip your hat to that gentleman. He played outstanding tennis.
He really kept it together, Ted. I was totally impressed with his concentration and competitiveness.
Well, it has been an unbelievable day here at the National Tennis Center. Upset.